away from the winter vacation in Iceland. Good evening, the Hampden Board of Selectmen, calling the meeting to order, the Hampden Board of Selectmen, the Board of Health. On June 3rd, 2024, being held in the townhouse at 5:30. We'll have a little shortened version of our meeting tonight because Wilbraham is holding a town meeting and some of us want to attend that. There's some items we're interested in. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is anyone recording the meeting other than us?
Dalton was supposed to be on.
Seeing no one. Okay, first we have some minutes. The May 13th regular meeting, which was the night of the town meeting as well. So we signed the police contract. We signed a cell tower lease extension. A few one-day permits for the VFW and the parade, and we had the town meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Where do we stand with that liquor license? What was on this?
I'm holding it until we get the inspections done. He's paid everything else required, just waiting the construction to finish to get the inspections.
May 20th, regular meeting. Let's see, the Conservation Commission was here. We appointed a new member to the Conservation Commission. We approved the Green Team Junk event, picking up
Good time.
junk. We talked about our website, updating our website. We had an annual town meeting review. We talked about sending a letter to the school committee to meet about Thornton Burgess School. And some bylaw changes. Spectrum hearing, we put that off. We're waiting for the lawyer who's handling that. Talked about the Memorial Day Parade coming up at that point and the summer meeting schedule.
Motion to approve.
Well, I hear to read. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. And the May 24th executive session minutes with a discussion of an ongoing case.
28th.
28th. Thank you for the correction.
Motion to approve without release.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Lauren, for getting those done so quickly.
Did we invite Mark for this?
I don't know.
He can't make it tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Tie-in bond, are you on? Hello?
We're here.
Hi, ladies. Go ahead, MS4 presentation.
Yep, so I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. Oh, I can't screen share. It says the host has disabled screen sharing.
He's on it.
You're on that.
Be careful. Remember what happened at East Hampton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see.
That's right. Yeah.
Co-host, you should be good.
All
Okay, I
right,
see
nice.
Dalton. I see Dalton is on it. Dalton, are you recording?
Yeah, he sent a chat message.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, can everyone see it?
Yes.
Questions in this?
Okay, awesome. So welcome to the annual update for Hampton Stormwater Program. My name is Haley Rivers. I am a planner at Tie & Bond, and I'm here with Kelly. I am a project manager for Hampden's MS4 work.
The purpose of this meeting is to provide an update on Hampden's ongoing stormwater management program. We'll be going over your permit year 6 accomplishments, planned activities for permit year 7, and future permit year requirements. We'd also like to solicit feedback from any of you on your stormwater program. What is stormwater? Rainwater that falls on paved surfaces and lawns becomes stormwater. If it doesn't soak into the ground, stormwater heads for the nearest storm drain. Storm drains feed to outfalls that dump stormwater into waterways. When stormwater picks up trash or chemicals, that's considered stormwater pollution. And stormwater pollution is the fastest growing type of water pollution in Massachusetts. MS4 stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. It is jointly administered by EPA and Mass DEP. Hampden's MS4 area includes all drainage within the urbanized area, which is the red shaded portion on the lower map.
I think their presentation is stuck.
We don't see the lower map.
Yeah,
You see the end of your
and
presentation.
Kelly, I think it's, I don't think you ran the PowerPoint or,
Oh, sure.
That's weird. It was running on our end.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
we can see it, but it's
Okay,
not
we'll
like, it's not in the run mode. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hmm.
I guess we could just manually click through.
Can you see it changing?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
No, you can.
yeah.
I'll do it from here. Did you see it change?
Yeah, but it's not full screen, so I mean, it's, because we got your side panels, the top, the
Yeah.
toolbar, the whole
You can
thing.
get slideshow from beginning.
Should be like hitting F5, isn't it, to run it?
Let me see.
Do you have dual monitors?
No, but I'm just going to restart it.
Don't need cookies either.
Thought we were stopping at Rice's on the way.
That one's in there.
Yeah, 2023 Girl Scout sale.
Is this better?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect, yeah.
Okay, so that's the lower map I was just talking about. So it's like your little corner of town. Okay, so the notice of intent under the 2016 small MS4 general permit was submitted September 28th, 2018. You received authorization to discharge on April 5th, 2019, and that expired June 30th, 2022. However, the permit was administratively continued on May 16th until a new permit is issued, which they still have not issued yet. Your stormwater management plan was finalized in July of 2019, and we update that annually. So Hampden's stormwater management plan has several minimum control measures, which are outlined in the plan. Those include public education and outreach, public involvement and participation, illicit discharge detection and elimination program, construction site stormwater runoff control, stormwater management for new development and redevelopment, and good housekeeping and pollution prevention.
So, essentially, Hampton's requirements under the permit are based on the Long Island Sound total maximum daily load because it is an impaired water body. So, Hampton is within the Connecticut River watershed, which is shown on this map to the right. And that essentially discharges into the Long Island Sound, which has been found to have a nitrogen impairment. In addition, Hampton also has an E. coli impairment for the Scantic River. Additionally, Hampton conducts its public education and outreach mostly through messaging that appears on the website, as well as messaging that appears on its social media platforms. It also completes public involvement and participation by providing its stormwater management plan report, online, and physical copies are available at the highway garage for the public to review. The town also conducts an annual cleanup every year, typically around Earth Day. And also you do this annual presentation so that the public can attend if they would like to provide any feedback. Hampden has completed a lot of the fieldwork components of its illicit discharge detection and elimination program that originally took place in 3 phases. The first was its dry weather outfall screenings, the second was its catchment investigations, and the third was the wet weather outfall screenings, and all of this was completed by permit year 5. Because no significant vulnerability factors were identified in the dry weather outfall screenings or the catchment investigations, it wasn't required for Hampden to continue with wet weather outfall screenings. However, there were elevated results at 7 outfalls, so the town decided to go above and beyond what was required and conducted wet weather sampling at those 7 outfalls, where we found some elevated E. coli and nitrogen. We conducted a follow-up observation in permit year 5 to identify potential sources of pollution within those catchment areas and provide recommendations for how the town could choose to address those in the future. Additionally, Hampden has a stormwater bylaw that has been implemented. Hampden has also conducted an analysis to identify the top 5 town-owned sites for potential stormwater retrofits and maintains a municipal stormwater retrofit inventory. The town should consider any roadway projects in the future, which would provide opportunity for retrofits, and coordinate with potential MVP projects for ongoing retrofit installations. We are also under the impression that the town has been trying to plan for a potential rain garden installation at a municipal facility to comply with the demonstration BMP retrofit requirement.
For good housekeeping and pollution prevention on permittee-owned operations, you do the ongoing catch basin inspection and cleaning, street sweeping twice a year, quarterly stormwater pollution prevention plan inspections at the highway garage and transfer station, ongoing record keeping, and implementation of good housekeeping SOPs. So planned activities for permit year 7. I know it looks like a lot, but it's basically a lot of what is currently going on. And planned activities for permit year 7, continued public education and outreach with annual messages, developing messages for developers and industrial facilities. And we recommend considering membership in the Connecticut River Stormwater Committee for additional resources. Continued public involvement and participation, continuing to make your stormwater management plan available for public review and comment, and considering other ways to involve the public in your stormwater program.
So as previously mentioned, for your illicit discharge detection and elimination program, all annual fieldwork is complete, and essentially you are tasked with continuing your assessment of the system for any obvious potential illicit discharges, especially while you're doing any street sweeping or catch basin inspections. For your construction site stormwater runoff controls, please continue tracking your site plan reviews and inspections. Essentially, you want to continue to enforce the revised bylaw, and that review should be going through the Board of Selectmen. For the post-construction stormwater management, you want to finalize the timeline for implementation of recommendations in your regulatory review reports, which were developed in permit year 3, and those should be completed by permit year 10. You want to continue to enforce your revised bylaw, and you want to continue to maintain your BMP retrofit inventory and install BMPs as is practicable, essentially moving forward perpetually. So then for your good housekeeping and pollution prevention, you want to continue doing those quarterly SWIP inspections at the highway garage and the transfer station. You want to continue the implementation of your good housekeeping standard operation procedures, which requires street sweeping and catch basin cleaning and inspection. You're going to continue your annual requirements for your impaired waters, and you're going to continue record keeping. For your impaired waters requirements, in 2022, you completed your nitrogen source identification report, which included identifying catchments that would potentially have high nutrient loadings, and from there, identifying potential retrofit opportunities within those catchments that would help reduce the nutrient loadings at those catchments. And you would incorporate any retrofit activities in new municipal projects in those areas.
So to sum it up, Hampden is proactively meeting its MS4 requirements under the current permit. Your permit year 6 annual report is due to be submitted to EPA and Mass DEP by September 28th, 2024. The MS4 general permit was administratively continued until a new permit issued, which has not occurred yet. Looking ahead, continued annual reporting and tracking requirements. Permit year 10 is when all mapping and catchment investigations are complete, but they're done anyways. So,
Yep.
And then just we await the issuance of the new MS4 permit. Any questions?
Does the MS4, or do you think in the future they'll make accommodations for the increased number of severe rainfall events?
I thought that was mentioned, wasn't it? Like,
I'm pretty sure that I think that a lot of the point of doing a lot of your field work and in identifying areas for retrofit is to do essentially additional stormwater management in the event of like a 100-year, 200-year, 500-year flood or storm event. Because essentially, if it is reducing the amount of pollutants that would be discharging into the environment and it is helping to collect and manage that stormwater, then that means that it should be reducing flooding and it should be reducing your potential pollutant loading.
Now, the nitrogen load, the Scantic, that's from all the water eventually ends up in the Scantic?
No. So the Scantic River is impaired for E. coli, and then
Yeah.
the Connecticut River is the one that goes into Long Island Sound, which is impaired for nitrogen. And so the majority, I believe, or I think all of Hampton's waterways essentially will eventually drain into the Connecticut River watershed, which is why it is considered impaired for nitrogen.
And the E. coli impairment is due to, you don't know?
Yeah, essentially, I believe the 2022 list of impaired waters is based on testing. It's not necessarily based on sources, which is why essentially the IDDE program exists the way it does, is to try to find potential illicit sources where sewage may be going into the stormwater system, which then discharges out to the natural water bodies. We didn't find evidence that sewage was going there, but I believe the report that we did in permit year 5 showed that the areas that had elevated nitrogen and E. coli were really close to a golf course and a farm area, which may just be a result of fertilizers. And right now, the permit really doesn't cover any requirements pertaining to like privately owned facilities, only to municipal facilities. So I believe our recommendations were that the town could do outreach to those properties and essentially educate them on how they could better manage their stormwater so that fertilizer isn't going into the natural environment. But again, that was well above and beyond the requirements of the permit.
What about pesticides and things like from lawn chemicals?
Pesticides aren't currently covered under the MS4 permit, but we could probably find any educational materials if that was something you wanted to provide outreach for. I believe also we recommended that you join the Connecticut River Stormwater Coalition, and I believe they have some annual messaging on that. And what I think we've recommended this in years past that you join that initiative because they do a lot of really good messaging and would incorporate your residents in that. But I don't believe you have joined it since we started recommending it.
You had mentioned there was a couple private facilities that may be contributing to the nitrogen and E. coli. If those were municipal locations, what would be the repercussions to the municipality for that excessive load?
I believe that the permit would essentially require you to perform some kind of management of that. So it might be the timing of how you apply those fertilizers, or it might require that you install some kind of BMP that can collect those nutrients and filter the stormwater before it's discharged into the natural environment.
Is there any DEP or any other state regulations for private entities like that? I mean, why are the municipalities being picked on, but if there's a high load from a private location that it's not being addressed?
I am not sure off of the top of my head. It's something that I can look into and get back to you on. But my guess is that starting at the municipal level and with the stormwater system as it is, essentially if the town is setting a good example, then if the permit starts to require private developments to comply with these permits in future years, then the private developments aren't going to come and point fingers at the municipality for not meeting those requirements themselves. So my guess would be that this is kind of still a precursor to that, but I can't know that for sure.
Anything else?
No.
Brian?
Good.
Well, thank you very much. It was very informative. We appreciate all you're doing for us.
Okay, so
Yeah.
authorize the chair to sign the
Thank you.
proposal?
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
what-
Thank you.
Authorizing to, here's the proposal.
Did you make a, that was your
I
motion?
did, yeah.
That's a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
so I asked also to, just think about what you think your priorities are for FY '25.
One thing I'd like to, and just in light of the email we got today, and I think, Don, we touched on this before, I think we need to have that quarterly financial review. And I recall we talked about this before, and it was something I think Bob was gonna talk about. Because I think we all got a little surprised today on where we stand with employee benefits. And I think if we do this quarterly, we'll have a better sense of projections going forward. Now, it's not gonna, we'll figure out how to handle it,
Yeah.
but it's
at
still
least
kind
we'll
of,
know.
we had a sense going into June, there was nothing huge there, and this is something that's gonna take a little thought. So I'd like that to be something we do. Obviously, capital issues are something going forward. You know, we have the fire station, Thornton Burgess, we have to get off the dime. You
Yeah.
requested that meeting, I don't know, we set a date for it yet.
They haven't responded yet.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and see him at the,
Yeah, it's
you know,
good.
touch base with him. And again, I did just get a couple of emails about, we submitted for a couple of one-stops. Brian, confirming our submissions,
Yeah, that's for the
two different
The water.
submittals. Yeah,
water expansion.
and kind of do we need a second person helping Brian with grants? That's gonna be a major point. I mean, do you think you need somebody just to honcho that, task somebody with that? We've been very lucky with using grants and things like that to fill up some of the holes we have in our budget, if you will, or allow us to do more. Do we need
Oh, we might be losing
somebody
those
to work
grants,
with
too.
Brian?
We might be losing those grants soon too.
Yeah.
Could be. So my point is, we cast the net wider. We still haven't done anything with Mill Pond
No.
after Senator
I
Goby gave us a
just
couple of
went by,
things
just
ago.
went by there today
Right.
too. It's,
So, and one more
Go,
thing
bro.
I did mention, I think we need to get on to the PPA review. We did talk about getting either Sincarfa or whatever the heck they're called now,
yeah.
and bring them in. That was approved at town meeting, I'm gonna say 5, 6 years ago. It has been a good deal for the town, but we need to be, is it still a good deal? Are there better deals? You know, Bob was talking about the aggregation thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is that a possibility? Things like that. So, again, it's about, biggest thing going forward, infrastructure management, financial management.
Well, I think it goes without saying, we know the big projects we got. Water district obviously comes to the forefront with the DEP regulations, so it's a priority to me. I honestly think TWB, I think we need to know the status before the end of school year of what that is with the school department, because we need to plan for this building and whatever future that, you know, the town has for needs of space and staffing and programming and whatnot. And then obviously the fire station's another concern. But, you know, thinking outside the box, you know, some things, you know, I'd like to see we maybe put our fingers on a little bit more is, you know, what's going on with Cumberland Farms, you know, that's another eyesore in town, and we keep going after them. They keep saying, oh, we have a buyer. You know, that's, people keep saying, what are we doing with it? Don's mentioned, you know, the Hike Hampden in the past. I think we should definitely try to do a little bit more with our natural resources to have people appreciate what we have in town, you know, whether it's Go Rock or the trails, and, you know, those types of things are always important to get activity out there.
That could be a focus of the new improved website
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
User firm.
You know, then, you know, there's been other things I've been looking at too with, you know, in emergency management and stuff like that. There's a lot of, like, things coming down the pipeline that could be of benefits to residents to learn about, so some new things I'd like to try to explore there too.
All right, on my list, I got building, like we all have buildings.
Yeah.
And I think I'd like to see us come up with for lack of a better term, a 1 to 3 year implementation plan. You know, what TWB looks like, what we're gonna do with that, we're gonna do at the fire station. I mean, the senior center thing was rejected, but we do know it needs work over there, so we still have to bring that up somehow and see how we can and do what we can do with this building. And then the fiber, I think the fiber is
Oh,
big
good call.
for the future of the town. And of course, Hike Hampden is my favorite thing, so I think we put those in some bag, and I guess what I'm trying to do is at our meetings to try to have at least each time we meet, have something on there about that to kind of push that forward somehow. I think it'd be good, and I like your idea about the quarterly financial thing.
Well, I think you had talked about, we need to schedule something in June, but I'd like to see maybe next week. We talk about, because each of us mentioned Thornton Burgess. We have a quote from Ty and Bond. If we can meet next week, see where we are, do we have the ability, and that number was was it 40 to 50?
45 or 50. I think.
Right, so is that out there? Personally, I think the board echoes that. We don't want to touch ARPA again because we targeted that towards,
The water.
right, bringing down phase A of the water project. The only way it would work is, okay, it would allow you to bring, you know, okay, it's gonna be, we could pay for it out of FY '25, so we could cut the contract now out of ARPA and reimburse ARPA when '25 becomes effective July 1st. Cut a couple weeks off it.
Only thing is ARPA has to be expended by, or
Encumbered by the end of the year, yeah.
24.
Which, since it's only gonna cover 30% of the project, I'm sure
Right,
just the
I was
engineering
curious about
fees
your
would,
reimbursement to the ARPA funds, if that would fall outside the time, I
Right.
don't know.
so. But I think right now I see this financial thing,
Right.
you know, we have to get a handle on it. It'll be handled, but I don't want it to surprise us.
It's a good list, good list.
I think Brian's been doing a good job though, catching us up
Yeah.
and, you know, finding some things that are, you know, fell through the cracks. So.
All right. I will say, I think the communication is good.
Yeah, any selectmen reports?
We do have, you mentioned the, coming up, we do have the building committee meeting coming up on Monday. I don't know if I covered on this before, we did have a walkthrough up at the transfer station with Amoresco and the engineers.
When they plugging that thing in?
They had some damage, the batteries for the unit were shipped in with some damage.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
So it's gonna be minimum 2 months and possibly even
Shipping
the fall.
damage?
Shipping damage, yeah.
Weren't the batteries already there? Like, they didn't notice it when they first got delivered? I thought they were there months ago.
No, I don't think so. There was the
No.
containers.
Maybe the containers, I don't know.
I thought they had delivered them
I
all.
think you probably saw the
They take out
interconnect,
specific
you might have seen the
units.
interconnect stuff.
Yeah.
That's also there, so that'll be a bit of a thing. Other than that, the panel setup and everything, Mark was there with us. He has had great cooperation with the people working there, so.
Fiber Optic is having their presentation on June 12th at TOEP. Or not presentation, listening session, community engagement.
Okay, June 12th,
Yeah, June 12th.
What time is it?
6 to 8,
okay.
or 6 until questions are done.
And Conservation Commission's meeting again on Wednesday, for the continuation of the solar project on 530 Glendale. Brian?
Well, first off, more importantly, did you update the spreadsheet with that extra pole that got knocked down?
I did.
Too bad it didn't take out a double.
Too bad, Jack.
Hold on a second, speaking of double poles, you see this one? Look at that beauty.
Oh, yeah, I know where
It's on
that
Mountain
is.
Road.
That's, yeah. Oh, there's one like that on Wilbraham Road.
Is
too.
there? Yeah, this is Mountain Road.
What's this?
That's
The
the pole.
pole? See,
Yeah.
see
They
the,
just cut it off and left,
just,
Oh, wow, left it hanging?
So it's not a double, it's like a
it's like a,
one and
Oh,
one.
one
it
and
is.
an, one
It's
and
a
an
floating
eighth,
pole.
one and an eighth.
Like a snack.
it's one of those floating shelf things, it's just a floating pole.
Ryan?
Just quickly, I did give, Attorney Solomon a call this morning, he did not pick up, I emailed him again. What we're gonna run into is we're gonna run into the expiration of the short-term agreement in the near future. I'll call him every day this week until I can, get a response. I sent an email about,
Can I ask a question, Brian?
yeah,
Do we need him at this point, or are you able to handle just the extension?
I think it depends on what the terms of the extension would be. If it's gonna be on the same term, if it's gonna be on the same terms as last time, then why couldn't we just go to charter and say, let's just re-up it for the,
Right, and I'm concerned we're spending this money on this person is not being very responsive to us.
yeah.
So,
If you're gonna consider the franchise agreement, then we're gonna be having a different agreement, which we could also get surrounding towns, but I don't know the background, the ins and outs of, those kind of things, so. Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that there might not be other council that's more responsive that also knows that, so. I emailed, the board today, had a conversation with, Mary Thurlow from the Gaming Commission about the, state budget. And there are 3 different proposals, each of them take various amounts from the Community Mitigation Fund that Hampden's eligible to apply for, the casino mitigation grants. The governor wanted to reduce the amount that comes into the fund in half, it's 6% now, which the governor's proposal was to move it to 3%, and then to take that money and put it into the general budget. The House's proposal was to freeze, was essentially to take, they get around 16.5 million roughly each year, was to not make a deposit into the Community Mitigation Fund for fiscal year 25.
so
So
then
steal
with
all
this-
the money.
With
Steal
this-
the money for 1 year and then
would this
continue
limit what we've currently been awarded, or just future awards?
future awards.
So we came up, not we, but these communities came up with this agreement with the casinos
Yeah.
to encumber revenue for the towns affected by this, and they wanna take that money,
Yeah,
so
essentially, yeah.
So-
And then
they're freeloading off of us, is what you're saying, the state's freeloading?
they're taking the money. And the Senate's proposal is to do away with it altogether, to do away with the Community Mitigation Fund altogether.
But still collect the money from the casino?
Yes.
Yeah, they would collect the
Okay,
full
Sure, why not, yeah,
6.5%.
just like, we're still paying tolls on Mass Pike.
Because
that we're
it's just
pay in
supposed
the
to
90s.
help with the impact for the communities around it. So after the while, sucking up communities, we want the money.
It's just, just the
Sounds
state
like
trying to shaft the communities even more,
Yep, yep.
Let's impose all these regulations, but, not give them any help, no money coming our way, but yeah, let's take all the money and put it into benefits that don't even affect us.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. State's going downhill.
Lauren, do you have anything to say?
Maybe not.
I'm done.
Okay,
Well,
Oh, motion to adjourn?
second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good.